friends. My name is Jill, and I am hosting the 2023 Garden Challenge. And if it's not 2023 anymore, doesn't matter. You can still do it. So let's get started. I'm so glad that you are here and that you want to learn how to garden and grow your own food. We're starting challenge number one, and we're going to just do the first three steps of challenge number one. Challenge one is the longest because it's the planning. And right now it's winter. It's middle of January at the time I'm recording this. And a lot of people are not even able to garden right now because there's snow, the ground is frozen, whatever. So we're just going to use these couple of months to do some planning, and that's challenge one. So the first three steps that we're going to do today are find your garden zone. You might already know it, but some people don't even know about that. I did not know about that when I started gardening. You're going to learn about the plants that you like to eat and that you want to grow, and you're going to start your gardening plan. So now we're going to do the challenge. So challenge number one, and like I warned you, this is a long challenge. It's going to probably take a couple of months. Unless you have a lot of time on your hands and you just want to get it done sooner, that'll work too. But if it does take you a while, it's going to be worth it. All right, so here's step one for challenge number one. Step one, find your gardening zone. All over the world, there's different areas here with different color codes that tell what your plant hardiness is. So the hotter areas are the higher numbers and the colder areas are the lower numbers. And I'm in the United States, so I'm going to bring up this one right here. And I live in Orlando, so it's this dark orange, and I'm in zone 9. You can look to see where you live on this map, or you could even search on Google. Just say, I live in this city, this state, what is my gardening zone? And it will come up for you. And this is what's going to help you decide what to plant in your garden. Step two, make a list of fruits and vegetables that you and your family and your dogs like to eat. You don't want to just grow a whole bunch of Brussels sprouts and nobody likes them. I love them, by the way. Do some research and see which ones you can grow in your zone. I can grow banana plants here because it's super hot, but in zone 3, you probably can't unless you have an indoor greenhouse that's heated. I don't know how that would work. So you want to keep it to something that you can grow in your zone. Some kind of vegetables and fruits you can grow almost anywhere. And then you want to pick your top 3 to 5 or more if you're very daring. Just pick your favorite ones that you can grow in your zone. And then go ahead and buy your seeds. You can buy them online, or you can go to like Home Depot or Lowe's. Maybe you have a local place where you can get seeds. So eventually you're going to have your own seeds because you're going to learn how to save them. If you get your seeds, you can find out a lot of information a lot of times on the back. So you want to figure out, do you want organic seeds? Do you want heirloom? Do you care if it's hybrid? All that kind of stuff. You can do some research on that. This is a cucumber. So let's say I'm living in Orlando. It looks like I can plant this in March through September. If I'm up north further, probably not until May or June or July. So that's important because it needs to be a certain temperature and it needs to be in the full sun for at least 6 hours. This is going to help you when you're planning your garden and where you're going to plant it and how far apart you're going to plant it. These take about 2 months to harvest. You plant them down 1 inch. And then after that, when you have your seeds or you have researched it online, you're going to put your name of the plant, the variety, if you know it, you might not, your garden zone, the best months to plant this specific plant, how much sunlight is needed, what temperature does it like, how much water is needed, how much space does it need, what are some companion plants, like what are some things that you can plant around it that are going to be beneficial for it, like marigolds. They're beneficial around a lot of things. They help keep pests away from your plants because they attract the kind of things that eat those pests. And they also probably attract butterflies and bees. So you want those coming around. And then also you can figure out what is the favorite type of soil. There's some there's some minerals down here. If you know which ones they like, you could circle them, and maybe that will help you figure out if you're going to use fertilizer or what things you're going to need. Other needs, and then you can put a photo of it or the seed packet here. And then when you plant it, you can put the date that it planted, the date that it sprouted, and then the estimated date of harvest. Like we said 2 months for the cucumber, and then the actual date and see what happens. Like, did it do all these things? And then here you can record some observations. So if you're planting your cucumber, you can observe how the vine is growing. Is it growing up the trellis? Is there maybe a better way I can do this next time, so that you will learn from it? And then step 3 is to plan your garden. So first of all, you're going to know, like for me, I could plant the cucumbers in March and some other things. So I would put that on my March calendar, because then I'll remember, okay, it's good to plant these things. And actually, once you get more seeds, I have a whole box of them. I have them in order by what months they can be planted. And then plan your garden. So the Farmer's Almanac says that if you're planting in the ground, a 10-foot by 10-foot garden, which is 100 square feet, is a manageable size. So you could also do 5 by 20. That's also 100 square feet. It doesn't have to be exactly, but it's a good size when you're starting out, so you can see what the vegetables are doing. Pick 3 to 5 of your favorite vegetables and buy or plant from seed. And then you can plant 3 to 5 plants of each one. Doesn't have to be exactly that. Do what you want, but this is just what they're recommending. This is in the book, but if you have some graph paper or just a regular sheet of paper, you could draw some lines, and then you can plan where you're going to have your garden. So I am planning a 16 by 16 garden, and I'm doing tomato plants here, and they need about 3 feet of room around it. So I'm planting each seed like in the middle, or each seedling. Like I might start my seed somewhere else and then plant it in the ground. So it's going to be in the middle of that. So it has all that room to grow around it. And maybe you're going to want to put something to support it. This other plant, the smaller, it only takes up a diameter of 2 feet. And so you can fit more in less space. So let's say these are cucumbers. You might want to put a trellis up for them. So give yourself space for that. And then on the other side, so this is like a triangle one, like this picture. This could be green beans or peas or something else that doesn't need much space that could climb up the other side of the trellis if that's what kind you're using. This is for zucchini because that needs more room to spread out. And it's usually kind of round. I mean, it does kind of have a vine that I've seen some people grow it up a trellis, which is kind of interesting. You can have like 3 of them there because this is taking up more space. And then finally, this could be like your pumpkins or watermelon. They have long vines and they're going to spread out. They're probably going to try to spread out into your whole garden. And if you're okay with that, let that happen. But if not, you're going to want to like move it so it's going in one direction, or you might want to prune it so that it's not going all over the place. Just keep the healthiest vines, but do more research on that. So in summary, today we covered what garden zone you're in, what are your favorite fruits and veggies that you can grow in your area. You're going to pick your favorite 3 to 5 and do the plant profiles. You're going to mark your calendar and you're going to design your garden. And if you want to get extra stuff done, you don't have to just do your spring garden. You could do your summer garden, your fall garden, your winter garden, depending on where you live. Some places that have winter for a long time might want to consider growing indoors with a grow light, like using a tower garden, because that's a great way to grow lettuces and things for your salad that don't need to be pollinated. So you could try that. But if you're really ambitious and you have time, you could plan out your whole year and you could do like 3 to 5 on each plan, 3 to 5 different plants. Hope you enjoyed it. You can do it. There are no secrets to success. It's the result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure. So if you fail, don't worry, we all do. It's something that's just part of gardening. And you're going to just kind of learn to go with the flow, not be too upset when it happens, because sometimes things come back and you don't even think that they will, and they come back. Like my banana plants were frozen and their leaves are starting to come back now. So just remember, failure is just a part of learning, and failure is part of being successful. It's a part of life. Happy gardening.